North, they were known. There were more voting rights for even African Americans. We're not just talking about slaves. We want to broaden the mindset because everybody in America at this time were not slaves. So in the North, some African Americans had voting rights, and then in the South, you know, it was oppressive, and there's just more widespread support for slavery. So for the North, for the South, more rights for AA will stand for African Americans. I'm just going to do shorthand. So y'all know that. AA equals African Americans. Okay? So there's more rights. Now, just because you have more rights doesn't mean you have the right amount of rights. And then the South, you know, is oppressive. So you say, you can say less rights. This is just the rudimentary base level. So less rights for AA. Now, before we go any further, what do you think about it? What does this mean? What kind of rights are we talking about for African Americans? Does anybody know? This is just intuition. Go ahead.
Voting.
What's up?
Voting rights.
Voting rights, for sure. That's important. So go ahead. What other rights? We'll make a list over here. What can you do now that you can imagine somebody back in antebellum America they couldn't do in the South maybe, or that, you know, was occurring in the North? Go ahead. Yeah. So what kind of rights do you think that you can exercise right now that might have been a little bit different in antebellum United States? And what is antebellum again?
Pre-Civil War.
Pre-Civil War word. What's up? What do you got? Yeah.
They couldn't use the same restaurants, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The white people.
For sure. So that speaks to segregation. If you're doing something like that, you're definitely thinking about the South. Because in the South, you definitely need to have your freedom papers and you were not allowed to move freely. So in the South, less freedom of movement.
What was understanding of contracts?
Contracts, what about contracts?
Like they had to do a certain number of years,
You're talking about indentured servants.
you know.
Indentured servants. Now, what area were indentured servants in?
Wasn't they wasn't still in the
Yeah, they're white people. Some black people were indentured servants, but yes, white people were indentured servants. And this is a little sidebar. This is good. I'm glad you brought that up. So, if the slaves were, what region of America were slaves mainly located in? South. We all get that. So, indentured servants aren't really needed in the South. You know what I'm saying? They already have the labor force. So they would be in the North. And then an indentured servant, they worked until they're 21. Basically, they would send white folks from Europe, Germans or British people, and the parents were like, I can't afford this kid. I can't raise him. So I'll just literally, if you pay for his ticket to America, he'll work for you till he's 21. That's indentured servitude. But there's a time limit on that. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. That is definitely true. No miscegenation. And that's called miscegenation. That's huge. I mean, that was a really big deal. And so, like, oh, go ahead, Blue.
Right. Couldn't they buy slaves like for their kids?
Oh, who's that?
Like,